Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. Everyone checking in on the cryptocurrency space, congrats to the bulls. Big time follow through at this point, and we've got Bitcoin testing the high after a V-shaped recovery on a bounce, testing the high of 8,000, and by the end of this video, we should see if we get a break or not. So what we have seen is in the last 5 days, at this point, this move is about 17%. So the move started 2 hours after the market started reacting to the Middle Eastern, Iran, US news. This is now going to be key because the next time we have any kind of significant geopolitical conflict, we're going to be looking for the cryptocurrency space to react. Why? Because people like me saw this reaction and said, oh, that was significant. I'm going to be looking for that to happen again. And then other people are going to be looking for that, and it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. If it was a one-day move, we could easily disregard it and ignore it. But at this point, it's a significant enough move where that was literally the bottom. So we're going to be paying attention to that. There is also news that we did have Tether, $500 million added to the market cap of Tether, which is about a 13% increase. Some people will say that money's printed out of thin air. Some people will say that's other countries bringing big money into the crypto space. Whatever it is, it's bullish news for the crypto space. And that really was a lot of the fuel for the bulls yesterday on this move from 76 to 8,000. It's way easier for bulls to continue holding positions when they have a reason for doing so. And what I mean by that is, on this move where we went 40% in 2 days, we didn't have a reason. Why is crypto breaking out? And that made it so people were going to lock in that profit. If you have a fundamental reason, if you can point and say Iran or point and say Tether, it makes bulls more comfortable holding, and it makes the moves last longer because there's less people to sell. That's just my opinion, but when you have fundamentals to give a reason why, as technical analysts, we don't need that why to be trading, but the herd does, and it helps them hold. So as far as I'm concerned, the monthly high or low has been set. Why can I say that? Because every single month was a lower high, and that pattern has broken. That is a pivot point. When I'm looking for a pivot point, that's pretty much what I'm looking for. So we have now pivoted. Could this be a monthly bear flag that rolls over to a lower low? Yes, I don't think that's going to happen, but it is possible, absolutely, with where we stand right now as Bitcoin is breaking 8,000 convincingly. So what we're looking for is a monthly lower high somewhere around $10,000, $11,000 in the coming couple of months, and we will be looking for follow through. Then we'll be looking for a monthly equilibrium. Has the weekly trend changed? You could absolutely say yes, because we had the low high of this bounce at 76.89, higher low and higher high. For me personally, I want to see a more clear pivot point. I'm definitely bullish short term. I've been bullish looking for this 3-day inverse head and shoulders setup. We've gotten that follow through, but it's the kind of thing where not all setups are created equal. And this is where I, as an individual with an opinion, make a little bit of a judgment call. Coming from a 7-month downtrend, this is not enough of a pivot point for me to call that a clear weekly trend change. What I want to see is a multiple week bounce, a couple week pullback, and then continuation. That shows me very clear pivot points. I wouldn't argue with someone who says this is a weekly trend change. I would say, yep, I can absolutely understand why you say that. If this were coming off of 2 months of consolidation and then this was a shift, I would say, yes, that's a weekly trend change. But again, it was the prolonged nature of the pullback and how much pullback we saw that is making me a little bit more picky as to what I want to see to call it a weekly trend change. All that being said, 3-day inverse head and shoulders following through, all resistances breaking here in the short term. And the next resistance level that we're going to be looking at now that 8,000 has been taken out is going to be back up at 8,115 as the next level. We just established a 4-hour higher low right above exponential support of 77.23, so that's our new higher low. Anything above 77.23 keeps the bulls in full control. If we lose the 4-hour uptrend, we zoom out and look for daily consolidation. So far, 2020 has been a year of just missed for me in crypto. I was playing this 15-minute oversold dump, and I had a bid at 77.11. And I just missed being filled by $12, and we V-shaped recovery, and it would have been a very nice trade. It would have been a day maker. So that's all right. Again, just missing a couple times now in the crypto space, which is just fine. I could look at it 2 ways. I could get really frustrated and get down on myself, or I could just take it that that's the way that it is and get prepared for the next trade opportunity. So from here, bulls are going to be looking for a 4-hour higher low to form. I don't like any bearish entries at this point. Reason being, we don't have any clear resistances to be playing off of now that 8,000 psychological has broken. If I were looking bearish, I probably would want to see a loss of the 4-hour uptrend first. So congrats to the bulls. It also helps that I do have a long-term no-touch position. I have been making money. My net worth is going up the last 5 days, so that helps comfort me, having just barely missed a couple really nice trades. ETH, so daily time frame, not as bullish as Bitcoin right now. We do have the continuation on the daily chart. The 4-hour uptrend is still intact at this point. Higher low right now at 138.79, but you can see we're not breaking to a higher high yet, while Bitcoin already clearly has followed through. And that's why right there, look at ETH BTC. And this is why I'm not interested anymore in ETH and LTC unless we see a weekly trend change on these Bitcoin pairings. We already saw enough of a bounce. Originally, I was interested because of this oversold bounce. That's already played out now. This is now just a weekly lower high. So it's a potential weekly bear flag even. So weekly lower high looking like it may be set, and we could drop down and break to a lower low. And obviously that means we want to be looking at Bitcoin and not Ethereum if that were going to be the case. At this point, I am only going to be interested in Ethereum and Litecoin if the weekly trend changes. Completely different story for Litecoin right now, just with the fact that we are hitting a higher high. It hit a higher high before Bitcoin did. I would call our new higher low of 44.48 support, a bull break of 46.21, and the next daily resistance on Litecoin is going to be up at 46.54, which we're at, and then 47.17 as the next level after that. ETH or LTC, BTC, also we have to be cautious. Weekly time frame absolutely could be a bear flag. We're not changing this weekly trend anytime soon. So again, not going to be interested in those names. Going to just keep an eye on Bitcoin as the leader. And let's look back at this Bitcoin dominance chart because it's picking up in a big way. And looking at it from a weekly perspective, we are setting a weekly higher low. So weekly higher low, 68.83, and we need the bulls to break 70.72 and 72.94 to try and confirm the monthly bull flag. So monthly bull flag is absolutely in play as long as 67.17, the low of consolidation, is support. And after a day like today, Bitcoin's certainly shaping up to be the bull to be watching. XRP giving back a lot of its move after its breakout from its daily equilibrium. Looking at it from a 4-hour perspective, equilibrium on the 4-hour is now anticipated. So we've got where we came from, higher low is trying to form at 207, and I would be looking for a 4-hour lower high under 2257. So as a bear, I would be much more comfortable on a play like XRP, where I could look for a top fish for a 4-hour lower high and use 2257 as my stop. Whereas Bitcoin, we don't have any resistance nearby. So again, there's nowhere for me to clearly put a stop level, and that is a lot higher risk when that's the scenario. So 4-hour equilibrium anticipated on XRP. Binance trying to keep its move going. The 4-hour chart, higher low established here at 1446. We have not broken the high of 1519 yet. If we break 1519, next level of resistance is up at 1580. Link USD finally got a bull break. It was a big time laggard. 195 was its double top. We broke that double top and went about 7%. So some decent follow through. And at this point, still in a 4-hour uptrend. Anything above 190 is a 4-hour higher low. But if not playing that break of 195, I personally, and it was actually 196, but I personally wouldn't be looking for an entry at this point. Because again, it is one of the weaker names. It's a laggard. Yes, that was a clear bull break to be playing off of, but there are stronger names out there aside from Link, in my opinion. And we got XTZ USD, keeping a close eye on a daily trend change because we know we're looking for a weekly higher low. So trying to set this weekly higher low. We've got the daily chart building a base of support. We were watching the 12-hour time frame to try and change the trend. 12-hour higher low, 122, and now 125. And if the bulls can break 134, that will be a notable shift in momentum that could potentially be the first indication that our weekly higher low has been established. So again, XTZ not really seeing any bullish action the last couple of days while the market's been running pretty hard, but certainly worth watching for, knowing that a weekly higher low is the most likely scenario. So Bitcoin stealing all the attention today and still running right now as I speak. 5-minute time frame getting extended. And look back at what happened after we topped out last night. 5-minute oversold RSI. We touched it. We just kissed it, barely. Significant bounce off that level. Every time 5-minute RSI has been hit, bulls have been buying that dip. First 15-minute oversold RSI. That gave us the V-shaped recovery, a very significant bull buying of that dip. So that tells us confidence is really high in this market right now if dip buying on oversold conditions are resulting in these kinds of moves. So again, congrats to the bulls. Awesome follow through. After clearing all these resistances, there is a lack of clear price level resistance nearby. And now it just becomes a question of where do we top out to where we lose the 4-hour uptrend. When that happens, we know we're looking for a daily higher low to form as bulls have tons of space to be working with. And bigger picture, let's see where we set a monthly lower high. If I'm going to change my perspective, and I've been having this monthly equilibrium perspective for months at this point, if I'm going to change it and look for a bull break over 13,800, I'm going to have to see very notable volume, even more than back here. So that's something to keep an eye out as well. A lot of people say volume in crypto doesn't mean anything. It does to me. It means enough to me to pay attention to, and I would need to see increasing monthly bull volume of this size if I'm going to say that breaking 13,800 is possible on one initial move. That's still a long ways away. So that's where we stand. Hope you are well. Certainly seeing things pick up in the social media space. Again, we don't want to get FOMO and irrational exuberance. Yes, we have monthly higher lows likely forming. Yes, that was the most likely scenario. And now it's all about where can the bulls take it from here? How high can we go? Because again, if we do get the monthly equilibrium, not all equilibriums are created equal. If we see a bull move up to 10,000, that's a lot different than if we see a bull move up to 12,000. That bull move up to 12,000 would make the break of the equilibrium much more likely to be bullish than if we only were to get to 10,000 and then start pulling back for a monthly higher low. We'll check back in as things continue to develop. At this point, all we're doing is just watching how high can the bulls run before we lose the 4-hour uptrend and see daily consolidation begin. You better believe that the first hourly oversold conditions, we will be looking for a solid oversold bounce. Nowhere near happening, of course, but again, just keeping in mind that once we top out, there are still bull opportunities with different technical indicators on the way down. Do good things. See you soon.